Hi there, do-it-yourselfers. Today we're going to be taking a look and showing you how to use Performance Tools miniature heat gun. This heat gun's going to save you some space, but also provide you with plenty of temperature to get those at-home projects done. So let's just get right into using this thing. Right off the bat, it is a corded heat gun. You get about 6 foot of cable on it here, so we did need an extension cable to make it from the wall to where we're working on the vehicle here. It's got a little stand here, which is nice, especially if you're working on a vehicle. We've been using this here on the various butt connectors for the job we've been doing, so we can have that stand there to prevent it from touching anything on our vehicle, leaving any marks behind. We just got done running all the wire for a 4-pole connector on our Bronco here, but we need to finish up our connections here at the front, and we're going to be using our heat gun here to help us make this last connection. Because this last connection here is going to take our power circuit back to the module at the back, and it's going to get power from our battery through the fuse here. But this is all in our engine compartment where it's exposed to moisture. So we want to make sure that we protect this by using a heat shrink butt connector. So we'll trim off the excess of our wire here, and we're going to strip it back. We're going to be using these from Performance Tools as well. We've got a pair of multi-purpose wire tools. You've got cutters in there so we can cut. There's also strippers here for the various different sizes, so we can choose the most appropriate one for the size wire that we're working on and strip that off. And now we're going to put on a butt connector. And we're using a heat shrink butt connector. When you get these kits here from the manufacturers like Kurt or Takancha, you often get a lot of butt connectors and stuff in the kit to complete the job, but they're just regular butt connectors. They're not heat shrink butt connectors, which will allow moisture and stuff to get in there, and it'll eventually ruin your connection, and that can actually happen in less than a year's time. So we're then going to use our multi-purpose tool here to go ahead and crimp down our butt connector. Always check to make sure that it's secure. We'll grab our other end here. This one we're going to strip, and then we're going to put it right on the other side of our butt connector. And we'll grab our heat gun here to finish this up. Now, I will say one of the things I don't like about these multi-tools is the way the crimps are on the back side of the handle. It's real difficult to feed this around. Performance Tools does have another set of crimpers that you can get here at eTrailer. It's a little bit easier to work with. We've got that pair here. You can see it's a lot dirtier because I use this one more often. It does just have cut and crimp in it though, so you do miss out on the stripping feature, and there's some screw cutters here. So you don't get quite all the features of this one, but for the main things you're going to use this for crimping and cutting, it is definitely a better tool. We'll now switch over to our heat gun here to finish this off. This here, it's cooled down now, it's been sitting there. This is removable, so if you need a direct line of heat, you can get that direct heat, but we don't want that when we're working here in our engine compartment. A lot of this is plastic around here. A lot of these wire looms are made of like a fabric material, and that'll all get damaged fairly quickly from the heat of our heat gun. So we're going to slide this on here to shield those components and direct that heat where we need it, which is right here on our butt connector. So just turn her on here, and we'll shrink down our connector. This also helps direct the air to the other side of the butt connector. A lot of times when you're using a heat gun, you have to spin the butt connector around a bunch to get it to heat evenly on both sides, but this kind of little shield here directs that heat and air to the other side, making this a lot easier to get this fully shrunk down and sealed up. And also, this is actually really quiet. I was kind of surprised there. Usually heat guns are fairly noisy. This one is really quiet. It did feel like the airflow was not what some of the other higher end guns are, the ones that are much larger in size. Those have more of an airflow output. In most cases, that's not going to be necessary though. If you're just doing like butt connector and wiring repairs, things like that, really not going to be needed to have that excess of airflow. It's a single speed motor inside of here, so you just got that one speed, that low speed. If you need something with a higher output, we do have a bigger one from Performance Tools that has multiple speeds, so you can get that higher airflow if you need it. That can be useful if you're maybe stripping paint on something. You can use that heat to help take the paint off. But really, the low speed should be good for most things. If you're going to be doing maybe some pipe work as well, maybe you're installing a set of airbags on your vehicle here and the Airline tubing needs to push over a barbed fitting and you're really struggling to get that pushed on there. You can use soapy water and some silicones to make it easier, but that also makes the line slippery. And then sometimes you're in still the same boat of difficulty sliding it on because of all the slipperiness. Well, we can use this here to heat up our line just a little bit to make it a little bit more malleable, and that'll slide over that fitting. Maybe you're working with some water line or something and you need to bend some of the hoses. You can use this as well to heat up some of those pipes and get a little bit gentle bend out of it without kinking it. So there's definitely a lot of uses you can get out of this gun, but I see the primary use being more with your electrical connections. But if you're an arts and crafts person as well, this could definitely kick in. And for you guys out there that are maybe using this in your motorhome, power requirements are going to be important for you. On the side here, it shows that it's rated at 350 watts, so you can get an idea of how much power this is going to draw if you're trying to use this in an off-grid purpose. It's small, so it'll easily fit into a motorhome compartment. And it reaches a maximum temperature of 662 degrees Fahrenheit. We talked about the airflow and how it was low. It does have an airflow rating on there as well. Looks like 280 liters per minute there is like what we've got on there. So you can get an idea of how much that is. It's not really very much though if you're feeling it here. It's kind of a low output. But again, it's going to do what you need it to do by providing heat at a concentrated point. And on those snowy days when it's icy out, you might be tempted to grab this and go outside and thaw out your door handle that might be frozen. And sure, it's going to do the job for that. But with the high rating here, over 600 degrees, there's a good chance that it could damage the paint on your door handle and stuff, so you should resist the urge for that. Grab yourself a hair dryer for something like that. This is for your extreme heats. And that completes our look at Performance Tools Miniature Heat Gun.